Hey, bro, don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
We heard a whole lot of lip service, but hey, anybody can do that. But between them lines,
come with the kid, you best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like, who you with? You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked in Zone 32.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. There's four of us tonight. Brandon couldn't make it. I didn't read the reason why, but whatever.
You said you're a communist and doesn't want to be anywhere near you. Verbatim.
Communist? That's you got me fucked up, homie.
All right, that's just what he said. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. That was what was said. So Jake's from California. I don't want to be anywhere near him.
He's just mad because I said knock loose is the only good thing about the region where he's from. And then he took a personal offense to that, like Michael Jordan does. But it's all good. I ain't tripping. That man can eat some more Gold Star chili or chili spaghetti from one of those other places that's not Skyline. Actually, no, he does fuck with Skyline. He got mildly offended when I started talking about that one day.
The scrolling thing at the bottom is the thing we need to know. He hates you for political reasons. I agree. You're like
okay, so he's a commie. I mean, the only reason why you hate me for political reasons.
Your state is pretty commie.
No, my state is commie. I'm not commie. I don't fuck around like that. I'm just outnumbered.
You are your state.
Oh, it's not me.
Fuck all that.
Else.
Yeah, fuck all that. I'm. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I can't continue onward because I will get us canceled. So. Yeah, I will not continue on with what I was about to say.
Talk about COVID, but
Jake doesn't want to get kicked off the Gavin 2028 campaign that he works for, so he's got to keep it PG.
He's a door knocker.
Okay, well, instead of saying what I want to say, I'll say fuck that motherfucking piece of shit, no good motherfucker, fake ass Patrick Bateman. Fucking fake ass Patrick Bateman looking bitch.
Max is going through this right now. He's scanning through.
Yo,
just make sure. And he's like, "Oh fuck."
Did you just call Drew Patrick Bateman?
No, I said Gavin Newsom looks like Patrick Bateman. Yeah, that dude looks like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
0% chance Trippy knows who Patrick Bateman is.
You ever seen American Psycho, Trippy? That movie's all right.
Yeah, no, Jake, he right. The same way how this motherfucker know who Pop Smoke or NBA Youngboy, yeah, or Kodak Black. I know who Kodak
Black and NBA Youngboy are. I have no idea who Pop Smoke is. No.
Well, I never heard that name before.
He's dead, so you're speaking ill of the dead now. It's pretty gross.
Fuck it.
That's all.
It's all good.
How about I take the rules?
Old foreman Jake over here just gets into that fucking.
Oh, look at this! Hold up! We got Trippy and Governor Wes Moore.
No.
No shit.
We got Trippy and a bald fan Lamar jersey.
There you
go. That's Governor Wes Moore.
No, it's Governor Trippy and some bald guy.
Hey, Will, I saw Lacey today, right?
Yeah.
Lacey and Jane was together, right? So I'm all jumping up and shit. Lacey looking at me like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? She's like, oh, Trippy is you. I thought you cut your hair, bro. I felt embarrassed. Like, damn, I did cut my hair.
People
she was like,
cool though,
what the fuck? Who is this motherfucker?
Why is this random guy shouting at me?
I got some things I want to say about day 4 that I said. I know some of y'all on here ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say, but
hey, I say we start.
Training camp report. Let's hit it.
I'm gonna do Jake's job here because he can't do it for like 6 weeks in a row. I say we start with day 1.
First off, fuck you fat motherfucker. Fucking big old fucking bald-haired, bearded-looking ass.
Yeah, this is you again not doing your job. Prove my point, right? So
that's your fault. That's your fault. This is all your fault. You son of a bitch.
Again. I'll be the hero and do it again. So Jake and Will and Trippy went to day 1 of training camp. I would like to start this off by saying Will is banned from Ravens events until further notice, because Lamar missed day 1 because Will was there. So we can start off with that and get into your day 1 experience. Thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm not banned. I'm welcome at all Ravens events, but
I just banned you though, so
And I don't respect your authority, so
I'm
I don't
just
give a
saying.
fuck. Go fuck yourself.
The people may. The last Ravens event you went to before day one of training camp was the AFC Championship game. So we now have.
I didn't go to
AFC
the game.
Championship-
I didn't go to the game.
You were there. You were in the build. You were around the build. You were near the building.
I left the
vibe-
building. I
your
left
vibes-
way before the game started.
Your vibes were.
That's totally irrelevant. Now you're just pulling. You're now just splitting hairs.
And now,
Thank you,
went
Jake.
to
And you're absolving the real criminal in that. There was a Canadian there who fucked it up. Who
Canadian
fucked up the
wasn't
vibe.
there day one at training camp. So.
But Canadian was there for the AFC. Hey man,
Look,
this
I
is
ain't
why
gonna
this is
say
why
his
you
name.
don't eat oxtail
Okay.
pizza. And who the
I
fuck
mean-
would eat oxtail pizza? That's just fucking wild. That shit.
Did Will,
What we doing?
Did Will give Lamar
Jake,
oxtail pizza?
Jake, I'm Jamaican now. I wouldn't mind trying that oxtail pizza now. I might have to take a trip up to New York because I don't know. That shit do look a little good now.
Trippy's gonna miss next week's podcast because he's gonna have diarrhea from oxtail pizza.
Probably.
It's all good, man. Piss
Okay,
out my
so-
ass.
so
Hey,
Will-
So
Will-
all right. Hey Trip,
I can do a
let's do a rundown of day one of training camp. So we got to training camp. We walked in and Trippy was on camera with Ravens media. I mean, when I say we walked in,
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying
still waiting on that video too.
that shit. We were inside for less than 10 seconds and he was on camera. So that happened. Then I'll tell you what. Neither of you two have had the full experience of a full Trippy experience. I've had it many times at this point.
I didn't hang out with him for like 3 hours for the divisional game.
I'm
You're
just
right.
telling
That
you.
was somebody else. Somebody else.
No,
Wasn't me.
the
I
full
didn't see
experience.
Trippy.
Oh
I wasn't-
Drew got the Trippy
I
experience.
wasn't filming Trippy while I was in news and getting trolled by that TikTok
But
kid
you know what
who
though?
goes
Hey,
around and
Drew,
wears the
come
opposing
to
team.
Hey Drew,
Listen.
come to think about it now. I wish it was you at the AFC chip game and Will, because I feel like we probably would have won.
I agree. My
What the
vibes are
fuck?
much better. My vibes
What
are
the
much
fuck?
better than Will.
What the fuck? All right. So
you
anyway,
you gotta think about it, right? Hold up, Will. You gotta think about it, because
you got to say this, really? You got to say this?
Yeah, hold
You
up.
have
I got
to?
a champion.
Yes,
I got a championship pedigree. You don't.
Jake,
That's really
listen.
what it boils down to.
Jake said it was the Canadian motherfucker, right? So now, and Will saying Drew saying it was Will's fault. Now I'm thinking about it. Will and the Canadian motherfucker linked up before we went inside the stadium. So now it kind of makes sense. Wow.
Both of them.
That's
Both of them.
crazy.
I see what you're saying. You're saying the Canadian juju rubbed off on Will. So you're cursed by the soulless Canadian who gives you Canadian bacon instead of actual
when him
bacon.
and I,
Okay, hold on. I have to say something.
I
Drew
understand
also
what you're
met up.
saying.
Drew also met up with the Canadian before another game, and
What was the final
during that
score
game,
of that game? What was the final score of that game?
doesn't matter. Lamar
What was the
got
final
hurt,
score?
didn't come back.
What
did.
was the final score of that game? Did the Ravens win? Yes or no? They won. You don't have
Hold
to
on,
look
that's
it
when
up.
we played the Broncos.
Barely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
all
was
right,
the Broncos game.
all right,
10
all
and
right,
9.
Frankenstein. All right, Frankenstein.
Ugly ass game where
I'm not-
James Prochet threw that
I'm not
hilarious
making up-
interception.
I'm not making up rules
All right,
here.
go
I
ahead,
just have, I have
go
a,
ahead, go ahead,
I have a
Will.
championship
Hey,
pedigree,
Hey,
and
Will, go ahead. and finish
winning
with
follows
training
me where I
camp.
go.
All right, we
'Cause I
got
know the
derailed
Orioles
there.
lost today. You don't
Except for
want
the Boston Bruins, because they don't know how to do that shit.
They won
Not
in
since
2011.
2011.
They've won. They've won.
Hey, hold up now. The Ravens won more recently than the fucking Boston Bruins, and you're still willing to call Steve Bisciotti beat Steve Biscotti. You have a
hold
weekly
up,
bid on
hold
that,
up.
so hold the fucking phone, player.
Hey, Will.
I-
Hey,
I
Will.
have
The Bruins know how to let you down,
All right.
other
Hey,
than
Will.
beating the
Hey, Will,
Canucks.
Before you
Shut up.
finish about day one of training camp, I gotta say one more thing. Jake woke it up again. Boston.
Yeah.
Hey,
Shout out
man,
to the Colorado.
got to put old boy in check when he gets too high for himself.
Shout out to the Rockies.
Not a real game.
That's-
Nobody.
That fucking
West
score like
Coast.
a football score.
West
Yeah, go ahead,
Coast.
Will. What happened though? Go
West
ahead,
Coast
Will.
altitude, not real.
Finish with the rundown.
West
Will.
Coast.
Mountain time, actually. That's not
Den-
West Coast time.
Denver's on the West Coast.
Sure.
Denver
It's
is mountain.
more west than me.
That is 2 hours behind you. 1 hour ahead of old boy. Me.
My time zone's the only one that matters. It's far away and altitude's all fucked up. And Nick Pivetta struck out 6 guys and 8 batters. It is what it is. Shit happens. Guys,
Hey,
Time is a flat circle.
Well,
Shout out Rustin Cole.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You go to if you guys dare to go to training camp with Trippy, you better have a lot of patience. This motherfucker gets stopped every 5 feet. Every 5 feet. It's not just little kids. That happens. Little kids are asking Trippy for pictures. They're like, "You're that TikTok guy." We got Trippy talking to Nate Wiggins' mom. We got Trippy talking to fucking every security guard. These guys, they're like, yo, what's up? Trippy knows every fucking lady, every old black lady sitting in the fucking stands. It's somehow Trippy's like the aunt or some shit. I don't know. These ladies are calling out
Local
Trippy's
celebrity.
name.
Local
Yeah.
celebrity.
Yeah, it's crazy. This guy knows everybody. It's insane. But here's what I'll tell you. Trippy knows what he's doing at training camp. It was fun. It was a good time. He knows where to go, where to be, when to be there, and so we were in all the right places at all the right times. Derrick Henry is like, no matter what you think Derrick Henry is on TV, if you see this motherfucker in real life, he's a freak of nature.
I forget
Bro,
who I was
he like
listening
one of them
to.
pass rushers. He like the same size as fucking
He's
Adobe
fucking
Brown.
humongous.
I
He's
think it was
unbelievable. He's so big.
I think it was Marlon on his podcast. Was like, people forget how big Derrick Henry is. Like, when you see a football player, they're usually a lot in street clothes. They're a lot smaller than you'd expect.
Marlon Humphrey is a great example. I saw Marlon, he is like just like a completely normal sized human. So it's like he plays football.
Yeah,
and this guy is like,
when they wear pads, they look way bigger.
Yeah, exactly. But Derrick Henry next to him is like, holy Christ! It's like
Derrick Henry
it's like he's standing next to a fucking.
Is jacked.
He's
no.
No.
I'm saying like bigger than, like stronger than.
Listen, when he walked out of the fucking that tunnel, I was like, holy fuck! This guy is a fucking monster. He's huge. Like,
and he runs like a 4.5 40.
Yeah, and exactly. And on top of that, I'm watching him run these drills, and this is he's not running at full speed, but like him hitting a hole is like it's unreal how quick he is when he activates all his muscles and he's fucking going downhill. Dude, this season is going to be fun.
Imagine you're a
jersey and
linebacker.
shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, imagine you're a linebacker
and you're put the pants on Friday.
Imagine you're gonna, you're a second level guy. So Derrick Henry gets to the hole, and you either got to get hit by a Ricard or hit the next
right.
level.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Exactly. So that's what I noticed. So Ricard came out first. Derrick Henry came out almost last. And Ricard, I mean, like, I expected him to be huge. He's a fucking giant. And like, it's not even like remember when he got re-signed and that fucking fat bitch was talking about him being like a hippo?
Yes.
Yeah. This guy is a fucking athlete. He is just like an unbelievable
pound for pound. Before Derrick Henry for pound, Ricard was the team. No, I'm not sure.
It's not even a question. Derrick Henry is definitely the best athlete on the team, 100%.
Yeah.
Pound for pound. So we saw everybody come out. High energy. The D backs, those guys are fucking ready to go. They are ready to go. I think we have one of the deepest defensive back groups in the league, and adding Eddie Jackson to that, I think, is huge. But these guys are fucking ready to go. The running backs are, I think, energized by Derrick Henry being there, because it's not like some fucking
defined roles now.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Justice Hill knows how many times he's going to touch the ball. Like, Owen Wright knows that he's not playing for a starting job. He's playing for running back 3 until Keaton Mitchell comes back. Like, these guys kind of it makes your life a little bit easier when you go into work knowing what you're going to do every day. Yeah, well, and so I'll tell you this too. Justice Hill was out on the field, I don't know, 15 minutes before the rest of the team. Is that right, Trippy? Would you say that? He was out there
probably like 15 minutes. Yeah,
he was out there. He was out there. So he was on the jugs machine. Then he was catching punts. So he was working out with the special teams unit. So Justice Hill was out there. Looked very, very healthy. Looked good. Explosive. One guy who jumped off the page to me. Owe. Guy was fucking everywhere. He's built for shorts and like he is. You're right. Yeah. You're right. But what all I'm saying is, when we walked past, so Trippy and I did a little loop, right? So we went to every position group while they were broken out into position group. Trippy got in Pat Ricard's ear. Pat Ricard was saying hi to Justin Tucker's wife, and Trippy was like, "Hey, Pat, why don't you do some work?" And I thought Ricard was gonna come over and beat his ass when he heard that, and then he realized it was Trippy. But he was pissed but he heard him. So he was working out with the tight ends, but the defensive front was all working out together, and goddamn, these motherfuckers are monster, huge. Tavius Robinson,
Meta BK, Tavius Robinson. Yeah, they're all big. Travis Jones is a big
yeah.
motherfucker.
Yep, Tavius Robinson,
big as shit.
huge guy.
What is
I
he?
mean,
6'5",
He like the
6'6"?
same size as Derrick Henry.
he's a big motherfucker, and he looked good. So everybody I saw looked good out there, man. They look like they spent the summer pissed off about what happened in the AFC Championship game. They're ready to fucking go. We have a bunch of hungry ass motherfuckers who are ready to kill people to overcome what happened last year.
All right, so I got a couple questions from your first day at training camp.
Okay.
Who is our undrafted? I saw somebody's name. He's an undrafted corner. I want to say it's like Bumpy Cooper or something like that. Bumpy Cooper Jr. I think he wears number 31. I'm thinking about getting behind him because he's got a great name.
That is a good name.
But who's our undrafted wide receiver? They didn't have no white guys as far as I saw. So is it Wade? Is it Wade or is it? And I saw a picture of being Kadri Ishmael's kid today. Kadri Ishmael's kid should play center for the Celtics. If he doesn't make the Ravens.
I was talking to him. I was talking to him day one. I told him Zone 32 is the number one Kadir Ishmael podcast. We're behind him. We've been behind him.
Yeah, I mean, if we ignore the part where you called him an innocent baby to start off with, but
that wasn't me. That was you.
That was you. No, that was you.
No, I cleared him all those charges.
Yeah, you levied the charges and cleared him. So I don't know. Like that's kind of like what do they call it? First responder syndrome.
He is a tall motherfucker. He's huge.
Trippy's got it as his background.
Yeah, he is a big motherfucker. And so I'm gonna give you. I don't want to badmouth the guy. He spent a long.
He like 6'7".
Yeah.
He spent a long time. He was out there signing autographs for the kids as long as they would let him. Here's my problem. Big Dog's son was standing right in front of him for must have been 20 minutes straight. He didn't sign his fucking flag.
Good.
What do you mean good? Fuck you.
Is Big Dog's son going to have sex with his wife in the future? Pull a so I don't know if you know the Future Scottie Pippen story. Future tried to get a ball signed by Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen ignored him, and then he fucked Scottie Pippen's wife later in life. So.
Oh, by the way, speaking of fucking wives, why don't you introduce our
We have a new sponsor this week. Out with Burger King. With
Burger King didn't work out. Apparently, the code didn't work. A lot of people were upset with that, and their crowns are built for children, not grown adults. So I had a headache when I went to bed that night. So fuck Burger King. But we are sponsored this week by Campbell's Plumbing. It's in Maryland. Will, what town in Maryland? I don't remember. This is your neck of the woods.
Port Republic.
Port Republic. As far as I know, they serve basically the greater Baltimore area, anywhere around Port Republic, Maryland.
Calvert County.
Yeah. So sometimes they can get the job done. This is straight off their website. It's kind of weird advertising thing, but sometimes they can get the job done. If they can't, they can get you with an expert, especially when it comes to cleaning pipes. Just seems like they tend to outsource like pipe cleaning and things like that. Normal household things that you should be able to do as somebody who's the head of a household. For whatever reason, Campbell's Plumbing struggles with those, so they will outsource them to other people. If you go to their homepage, there's a little thing that you can fill out. You leave like a name, an email address, and a phone number, and you leave like a brief message about what kind of services you need. So if you use code WILL, you get 10% off service. And make sure you tell them Will from Zone 32 sent you, and you will get great service. Usually get it done in 1 or 2 nights. Not a lot of back and forth during it. Maybe afterwards they kind of follow up a little bit too much after the fact. But so it's campbellsplumbing.org. And again, make sure you tell them that Will from Zone 32 sent you.
Thank you. All right, good. We got that covered now.
No problem. Just anybody wondering, I do great ad reads if you guys want to sponsor us. So we'll laugh when people give us money to talk about them on it. They give us money, or sometimes people in their family give us other services.
Oh, it just listen. It tickles me when we get to honor our contributing sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I promised him early in the episode. So what are we, like 20 minutes in? So make sure to clip this and send it to him just so that he's aware that we've shouted out his plumbing business.
He will be aware.
Yeah. All right. So back to anybody offensive line wise stand out to you? Like I know that they didn't do pads. They didn't do a lot of. I don't think they did any 11-on-11 first day, right?
No.
So
they didn't.
I don't know if you saw like starting units for offensive line. That was apparent.
Well, I'm gonna let Will go on day one, and I talk about day four. Go ahead, Will. My bad.
You know what? It's not even fair. Like I don't know if it was 11-on-11 or 7-on-7. They did run at the end of practice. They ran for about 10 minutes. They ran like goal line to goal line, and like none of it mattered. To be honest with you, because it was a lot of like in and out. So like we
So it
had
didn't seem like there was like a set starting five
no,
for the offline.
absolutely not. No, like the first I don't know 5 minutes of that sequence, like the back end of the depth chart was in, so it didn't really tell you anything. What I'll tell you is Rosengartner is that guy is he loves camp. He loves football. He's
I
fucking
mean,
ready to
he
go.
seems like the kind of guy who only he could play football. So
Yeah. So I'm excited about him. Just like the look on his face on day one, he was there. He was dialed in.
I have long been a proponent. I know our real doctor has long been a proponent. I want the stupidest fucking no regard for their safety, only cares about football guys playing offensive line.
Okay, so on that note, a guy that I thought was kind of everywhere and was really like working his ass off was I think his name's Drew Samac, right?
Oh, the center,
Yeah.
from Michigan State.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, you know why I said Drew? Because we were trying to say that he was like related to you, I think at one point. But
yeah, because he's a white guy with a pretty typical.
But I think he went to Michigan State, right?
Yeah, and the only thing I don't like about him, everybody hyped up picture of him flipping off the Michigan crowd. So Michigan was up 49-7. There's a picture of him standing like midfield, flipping off the Michigan student section. It's like, don't lose 49-7 would be my thing. Like I like the energy. I like the energy. I just don't like the context of where you did it because you were getting your fucking teeth kicked in. Like maybe don't do that.
I do like that he's getting his teeth kicked in, and these fucking bitch ass college kids are up his asshole, and he's like, "Fuck you."
Right, but maybe do it like when you're down 21-0 to try to energize.
No, I hear you, but I like the vibe around this guy.
Yeah, you're right. I like the vibe. It's comedic timing, or not comedic timing.
Every time I saw him on Sunday, I liked what I saw from him. It just like I liked his energy. So, the offensive line. I didn't see a lot of Ben Cleveland, to be honest with you. I saw him come out.
That might be a good thing, though. Like if he's not doing anything bad that's catching your attention, that might be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not offensive.
Nothing stood out to me.
We're not nerds who are going to watch blocking technique and shit.
I think Falele gonna win that job because he's been playing a lot of right guard.
Falele's been playing guard a lot. Yeah.
So is Falele too tall to be a guard? Is really my only question.
That's my question too. No, Lamar is not. But Lamar's not short. So
no, he's not. But still, like Falele's 6'7", isn't he? 6'8".
Yeah,
big motherfucker.
Big. He's really big.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they said his feet, like his footwork. You know what I mean? So like, why not?
Right, but like, there's gonna be a point where Zay Flowers lined up slot on the right side of the formation, and Falele's fat ass head might get in the passing lane, and so like that's like a legitimate concern. And we don't have that concern for a 6'1".
We've been saying this about him since he got drafted. I think me and you.
Yeah, is that he's got the. So when he came out, he was 420 pounds, some ridiculous number like that. And we both like if he slimmed down and got a little bit more agile, he could play guard. But again, it's the same question every time: is he too tall to play guard?
He's huge. Yeah, he's gigantic, and we have a couple of those guys. So
yeah.
I think Salah's close to that size too.
Yeah, he's like 6'5", I think. So he's another big guy.
Yeah, and
that's the thing with big guys and interior offensive line is like. Will their head affect passing it?
Yeah, and like Linderbaum's like 6 foot 6'1". He's not tall.
No, he's a bigger guy, but you also again lower center of gravity, like perfect.
Yeah, Linderbaum's 6'2".
Yeah, which is about what you want your interior.
6'2" on in the program, but I think in real life, I think he's more like 6 foot.
6'8".
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's a concern that you have to have is do you want your guards being that big? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like interior, like, creating space for Lamar to throw, whatever. Whatever. That's something we can deal with.
Can you remove a couple of vertebrae?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Voorhees again. Did you guys see much of him?
Oh.
No.
Voorhees, not much of Voorhees.
Yeah.
Not much. I didn't see much of him.
You know what? The day I want to be paying attention to him. See, I be looking more at the skill players. You feel me? Maybe when I go Friday, I might. Friday.
But that's the thing with offensive line is that we're not offensive line people. So if somebody's not standing out to you, that could be a good thing.
Well,
You know, they're not.
and again, so most of what I saw on Sunday, it was they were broken out in position groups. So I'm not going to go spend much time staring at the offensive linemen. To me, it's a bunch of huge fucking dudes doing their fucking drills. I don't know what I'm looking at, so I'm
Was
not going to
Ronnie
spend
there
time
for
on
the
it.
whole practice?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's something I did notice. Ronnie was there. He was very much engaged. He was doing his thing. He looked good.
And guess what else? Although we
We
still
got
talking
it.
about day one, the day is day
Yeah,
four. Guess who was the last person that left the field? My bad.
Ronnie.
Ronnie Stanley. He was out there
Nice.
teaching number 60. What's his name? Julian Pearl, shit like that. He was out there teaching. And I got a little video. I'm gonna send it to y'all. I said,
Okay.
check Ronnie Stanley out. He the only one out there. He was working on his
So
little technique. with the dude,
speaking of videos from day one, Will and Trippy had an interaction with a certain nail painting number 7. Asked him to come on the podcast, and he said, "Hell no."
He said, "Oh hell nah."
I think you guys
yeah, I
dropped the
tried to get
ball
him
on that
shouted
one.
out.
I think you guys
I
dropped
tried
the
to get him
ball on that
shouted out.
one. Similar to Rashad Bateman dropping touchdown, I think you guys dropped the ball on that question you asked him. I think you needed to ask him what nail salon he goes to, or if he prefers Balenciaga or some other designer brand, to catch him off guard and get him to come over and talk to you,
All
and
right,
then be like,
so
"Come on." So you can
here's
get
what I'll
closer.
tell you. That was the third time that day we interacted with him. The first 2 times we didn't have it on video. The first time he was coming out, he was slapping 5 with the kids, whatever. So then when he got free of the kids, then Trippy got his attention. He saluted me and Trippy. I don't know that he
No
knew
shot
who.
he knows you again. No shot.
Well,
he
but
knows you.
when he turned around, he did turn around, and he went to go salute us, and then I was wearing a Zone 32 shirt, so
The switch up's crazy by Rashad.
the switch up was crazy, right? He saluted us. The
The
second
switch up was
time,
crazy.
he came over to slap 5 with the kids over on the sideline of the offense, the field the offense was practicing on, and we were with Hassan, and
Yeah.
he wanted no part of me and Trippy. And then the third time was the one that was on video.
That's fair. So number one, I'm shocked he let people touch his hands. He just seems like that kind of guy that would not slap hands with people.
Don't touch my manicure.
Yeah, I just got these done yesterday, guys. I can't touch you. Yeah, I think we needed a closer video of basically him telling you to fuck off. That would have made my year.
Would have made mine too, but we
if he
did
looked
what we
you dead in
could.
the face, if he looked you dead in the face and said, "Drew, go fuck yourself," I think I'd just retire the internet. I think I would have peaked. I don't think there's anywhere else I could go. So, somewhat of a botch by you guys, but fair.
We did the best we could.
We live.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was funny though. But I told Will I'm gonna say it. I'm like, he probably ain't gonna say shit. You feel me? And then when he turned around,
Well, that's
then
why
he
you're
said
doing it.
something.
Yeah. No,
Right, he
again,
turned around
like
and said something. Then
people
when
are
he
like,
realized it was us, he was like, "Oh hell no!" You feel me? That's
we've been giving him shit for months, so like he should
Years.
give it back. Yeah, years. So
Right.
like the fact that he had any kind of reaction is fine. Like if he jumped over the fence and beat the fuck out of Will, I think it might be warranted. I mean,
Oh,
I
sure.
don't think he should
And
do that
swore
because
on
he's
the
if he pulled like a Ron Artest, malice at the palace, but brawl at the castle or whatever you want to call it, fucking
yo, that shit, brawl at the castle.
The hassle
that
at the
shit is
castle.
crazy.
yeah, the hassle at the castle. If he jumped over the fucking railing and beat the living fuck out of Will, like, maybe don't do that.
Hey,
You're a professional
Drew,
athlete, but also
Drew.
warranted.
But Drew, people can't beat the shit out of me. I only go outside with my podcasters.
That's what I've heard
Yeah.
from sources. So. Will doesn't leave the house unless Trippy and I are like holding each of his hands, and we all live in a podcast. I believe that was an accusation made.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Wait, we all live in a podcast house together.
I forget who was.
Jake,
Yeah.
we can drop the act. We're in the next room. We're in the next room. You can hear us.
That's
Jake's
still
never
really
stepped foot
funny.
Jake's never stepped foot in California before. It's all been a clever ruse by us for many years.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, some guy was like, "I'd beat the shit out of you if you left the house. Your podcast buddies around you." I'm like, I've met Will in person like 3 times, twice total. Nobody attempted to fight us.
No, and the person who said that, he spends a lot of time at a certain establishment, and I have been there since everything popped off with him. I don't know, 8 times, 7, 8, 9 times, by myself. So.
He was busy making arrangements with people who work at that establishment. We can't talk about that publicly though. So, just not nefarious activities that we don't support on Zone 32. But like if you Google Jeffrey Epstein and P Diddy and things like that, like there's some similarities. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of crossover there. Yep.
lot of crossover and taste in people that you spend time with. So
Yep.
we'll leave it at that.
Okay. So day one, the biggest takeaway from me, and I did tweet about this. I spent at least 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I was over because the way that Ravens camp is set up, or the way that Ravens the castle set up with their fields, is they have two fields that run parallel to each other, and then one perpendicular at the bottom. So I was on the one where the special teams were working out, and I'm pretty excited.
Is that the one that I sent Dylan Dobbins the coordinates, the 50-yard
No.
line of?
No. There's another. I think there's actually another one. There must be another one further away. I don't know, but if it's not, it's either
No, that's the only three fields.
okay. Then it's the one that you sent the coordinates to is the field that the offense was working out on.
Oh.
So I watched Justin Tucker kicking footballs for at least 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and
This is why I used to go in when the gates open. Is that guy drills 70-yarders? Nobody's blocking him like a.
So he wasn't kicking field goals. He was kicking. Yeah. He was doing kickoffs, and he was doing them. Basically, they were practicing how they're going to do kickoffs with this new kickoff rule, right? Because the way it used to be was either you kick it out of the back of the end zone or you kick it, and it was pretty straightforward. Now the rules are different. So there's a lot of you have to stay still until something happens, blah, blah, blah.
Basically until the ball passes.
Right. So Justin Tucker is setting the ball up sideways on the tee.
Kind of like Boswell with the onside kicks.
Yes, but he's doing it sideways. Then he's kicking full go, but the fact that it's sideways means it's coming off his foot. It's almost like it's a spiral that isn't coming in straight. So he's created a kicking method where he's kicking the ball into that landing zone. So my understanding of this rule is the ball has to land inside the 20-yard line, between the goal line and the 20-yard line. So he's finding ways to basically put English on the ball. So the ball
he basically wants them to catch it at the 10-yard line flat foot so that his gunners have a chance to hit the guy. And
not just that, he's doing misdirection with it, and it's hard to catch because it's not just it's not a straight kick where it's end over end. It's like a spiral, but it's like a diagonal spiral because he's kicking the ball sideways.
They're not going to feel comfortable fair catching it because they might drop
exactly.
it. That's the whole
right.
goal.
Exactly. Yeah. So he had people back, and a lot of them were they're coming up on it, but then it's moving because of the angle it's coming in at. So it's almost like a screwball, like a pitcher throwing a screwball.
So this might be James Prochet's to shine in Cleveland. Is he spends so much time on the jugs machine? He's used to catching shit like that.
Yeah. So when they first started doing it, I'm like, oh, he's just fucking around. But he did it for solid 20, 25, 30 minutes. And he had, what's the punter's name?
Jordan
Stout was doing the same thing. So he was doing it. So he was practicing, but he was practicing it the exact same way with the ball set up sideways on the tee. So I think, and I'm not saying that we're the only team that's going to do this, but I think kickers are going to be getting in their bag a little bit.
Guys how Younghoe Koo does weird onside kicks, how he sets up the ball. I feel like these new rules are, highlight guys who kind of are, I don't know, trick shot kickers is the right word.
Right.
But you might get who's the YouTube kid? Trippy, you might know who he is. Played in the XFL for a while.
Didn't he go to Penn State?
You talking about
oh my God. Destroying.
Destroy him, yeah, destroy him.
Yeah, so he would make
hurt though.
Yeah, he's hurt, but I'm saying he would do trick shot kicks on his YouTube channel where, I don't know, bounce it off this and kick it off that and kick it from this weird angle. I feel like you're going to see a lot of that this kickoff.
Yeah. So my understanding of this rule is everyone has to stay still, right?
Yeah.
So
you're trying to limit. You had guys running from their own, whatever it was, 35-yard line, full speed into guys who were starting, from a flat-footed position, and that's how concussions. It's supposed to limit that.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking though is Justin Tucker, and I mean, I'm sure plenty of other kickers have thought, okay, nobody's going to move. Nobody can move, I think, by rule. So they're trying to kick the ball where it's going to land at the 15-yard line.
Right. And then the whole idea is that they struggle to catch it and they're not catching it with the head of steam so that you can pin them at the 20 instead of the 25.
Exactly. So, and what they were doing with the ball sideways is because of the way the ball was spinning off their foot, they're kicking it towards the sideline. So, if a guy is set up in the middle, in the back, they're going to have to come over. So, they may not even make it over there in time. Or if they do, then
Justin
they're
Tucker, if you listen to this podcast, the spin that I get on my drives off the tee, you can analyze my golf swing all you want, and you can figure out how that spin gets, and nobody will.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is this, and Big Dog Dad pointed this out. It could be the strategy because the ball is being kicked up and trying to land in a spot where there's nobody there to catch it. The strategy is to force them to put a second person back there to field the kick.
Yeah, so you almost get rid of a blocker to put a second person back there.
Exactly.
Did
So
Big Dog Dad sweat through his shirt at training camp or no?
it was hot as fuck.
But did he?
Very hot.
Yeah, did he look like he pissed himself again? Is all.
No. And the picture that you're referencing is we were in the upstairs at Pickles. So anybody who's been to the upstairs at Pickles knows you can go there when it's 75 degrees out and it's hot as balls up there. But when we went there, it was like 92 degrees, humid as fuck. It felt like a fucking oven.
So anybody watching this, Will has
somebody
been
made a
best
mistake
friends.
and turned the heat on or something. It was
Somebody,
hot as
anybody.
Trippy was there.
This,
He was there with us. It was hot as balls. It was so hot.
Trippy didn't look like he peed himself. Big Dog Dad did.
So no, it was just Big Dog Dad, but he's a big guy. He's a big dog guy.
I mean, just you're covering for him. He peed himself. It's fine. It's okay.
No, he even remarked
on
on the amount of sweat that was going down his shirt and into his shorts, and was going to make
we're
it
in
look
the
like
trust he peed his pants.
You're right. He did.
He had 6 crushes. Didn't know how to find the bathroom, and so he decided to pee himself. It's fine.
Yeah, he pissed himself. You're right.
It's okay. We're in the trust tree. Only like a couple hundred people are going to hear this anyway. So, and the odds of anybody know Big Dog Dad in real life walking up to him and be like, "Hey, I heard about the time you peed your pants," are slim to none. So
yeah,
it's fine.
You know what? Speaking of the amount of people who are going to hear this, I got a gripe that I have with one of our listeners.
Which one?
Naldo.
He's on medicine.
How long are you on fucking medicine, dude?
He sent me a doctor's note.
That was like 2 months ago.
He's dying of some unknown illness. He's being medically treated for it.
He needs to come through and follow through on what he said he was going to do, or we're going to start calling him Brian.
That's more my beat. He's giving Brian so much shit, and now he won't do it. Like, why, bro? So no,
though. That's supposed to do the Derrick Henry thing.
Yeah, he's supposed to shotgun or fucking funnel 4 seltzers, and he's gonna die live on stream. So yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, man. If he really going,
actually, I feel like if he funnels, I don't think going through anything. If I remember, it's not anything that serious. You just can't drink during this time. But he might be dying too. Now we might be down a listener. So Big Dog Dad's got one like hearing story of him, peeing himself. This turned dark real quick. We usually make fun of each other for being like in life or death circumstances, not listeners. Jake, you're supposed to unmute yourself and save us here. We've put our foot in our mouth.
No habla inglés, carnal.
Yeah. Get the topic. Get the shit back on the road, moderator.
I want me doing my job. All right, fine. Well, that's all for training camp.
So day one. That's all for day 1. We got day 4, which Trippy was also at today. Will didn't go. I got some from training camp today. I also got an inside tip. Lamar was back today at 11:25, and nobody announced it till like 1:30 today. So credit to me for having great source. I have no fucking idea who's coming back today. Somebody told Will, and then Will texted me, and then I screenshotted it. And posted
you want to know who told me?
Oh, Trippy.
He's here. Yeah.
Fair. That's what I figured. So I got from Will. I'm like, fine, and then I was like, I'm not going to do anything with this. And then I waited till all the beat reporters posted it, and then I posted it like, oh, I have better source reporters. I figured it was true.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I ain't gonna.
Actually, okay. I'll be clear. It was not Trippy. Actually, it was a guy told me and Trippy.
Ooh.
Trippy and I have a guy. We have a guy.
I know you have a guy.
That's all I'm gonna say.
He does stuff that's at the and those things.
Yeah.
Is it the guy that I'm thinking of that has given you some bad information in the past about uniform combinations?
Look.
He only gave me good information.
Well, he gave you information about something that actually happened. You made uniform decisions based off of that and didn't work out.
He's only ever given me good information.
Yeah, his information's fine. What information is bad, I guess is what I should say. Nothing wrong with your.
I mean, I do bad things with information all the time.
Same. I've heard about plumbing companies that pay us money, and I slandered him on this podcast. So
Well, that's why you only hire the Super Mario Brothers as opposed to other plumbers.
The Super
Yeah,
Mario
neither of Super Mario Brothers are married, so it wouldn't happen with this plumbing company. Anyway,
That's fair. But,
yeah.
It's a day
They're
4,
also not,
Trippy.
they're also not real. Yeah, Trippy, do you want me to read my notes from day 4, or do you want to go?
Yeah, no, go ahead, read your notes first, and then
I
I'll
feel like you may have seen inside. He's pretty big deal on the Ravens. He pretty big time insider. So he said, offensive. He broke it out into 3 facets. His notes that he sent me, very very professional, bullet points, everything. So offensive. I guess Lamar only played about 5 snaps in 11 on 11. Said Lamar looked rusty and he left early, which makes sense. He hadn't practiced yet. Also, who cares? It's like the first week of training camp. He said Zay and Bateman look good off the line. So I guess, beating defenders in shorts and a t-shirt for whatever that's worth. And that drops have been kind of an issue offensively. You agree with all that, Tripp?
Yep, I agree.
All right. Then defensively, he said, Marlon's got his swagger back. Looks like the all-pro Marlon again. Needs a haircut from what Trippy posted, but or actually what Hassan posted, but then Trippy quoted with Bob from The Wire, or Bubbles from The Wire, sorry.
Bro, that shit was funny in the comments. They say you
That was
like
bad.
Bubbles.
That was like, I mean, I'm bald, so I can't really talk about people's haircuts, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, go get a fucking haircut, bro. So defense is everywhere, just pressure and coverage wise, it looks good. I've heard outside of this, like, Harbaugh, he said he told Owe to chill out because he's like disrupting too many plays in 11 on 11.
No, he actually did pull him aside and said, "Don't hit the quarterback."
No, and then Harbaugh said in a press conference, like, Marlon had 2 picks today. Kyle Hamilton had a pick. Jalen Armour-Davis had a pick, and Marcus Williams had a pick. But Jalen Armour-Davis having a pick is shocking. I forgot he was a person, so good to hear that. And then the quote that I was saying is linebackers were flying, which I take to be Owe and Van Noy were all over the field, but probably Tavius Robinson too. And then special teams wise, Deontay Hardy and Malik Cunningham are the ones that are working on returning kicks. Malik Cunningham is the one to me.
Yes. So I want to say something about Malik Cunningham. I was watching him closely because Trippy put it in my head that he was like a midget. But
yeah,
I guess what Trippy's point was, he doesn't look like a quarterback, which is fair. He's not like small, but he is, I guess, small compared to quarterbacks. But I liked everything I saw from Malik Cunningham, and not just on the field, just like his whole, like he looks like a guy who played quarterback in college. You might expect.
Does he give you Terrell Pryor vibes?
No.
He looks not as elusive. Like what's missing there?
He's both? way small. Like Terrell. I mean, Terrell Pryor was probably 6'5", right?
6'3", right, but yeah, he was a bigger guy.
He's a bigger guy.
The height. He just don't have the height. That's what I'm saying.
So is Malik Cunningham more like a Wes Welker?
No, he's not that. No.
Or a Julian Edelman.
So here's the thing. So now that he's with the wide receivers, you see him with the wide receivers. We have small wide receivers. We have a lot of small wide receivers. He's like, I don't know, probably the 3rd or 4th biggest guy in the wide receiver group.
Bateman's probably bigger than him.
Yeah,
height wise. Country Ishmael's kid's probably bigger than him height wise.
Well, not probably. He's a monster.
Well, yeah,
but
he doesn't count. He's like 6'9".
What's his name? Ted Walker.
Ted Walker's like
6'2". Ted Walker's pretty big. Yeah. But all in all, Malik Cunningham blends in with the wide receivers. He blends in pretty well because he's like, I don't know, he's like 5'11" probably.
So I do, after reading those notes from the respective
6'1" on the program, but I think he's 5'11" in real life. But all I'm saying is, like, we got
he's saying the program.
In the program.
Will is saying that when you get the printed out program that they hand you, like the print.
He's an AAU 6'1". He's 5'11" in real life.
All right, Trippy, I'm gonna let you in on some government secrets here. On my college roster, I was 6'5". I am not 6'5". You list everybody a couple inches taller than they actually are, so that when somebody's doing some program scouting or online scouting, they're like, "Oh shit, this kid's big." And
so
like,
I have close familiarity with a person who was recruited. This person played AAU basketball, and they listed this person at least 2 inches bigger than they are.
So Will just dead gendered somebody that he knows who used to be female growing up and then turned into a man and was trying to get D1 scholarships. But
Well, all I'm saying is this person was listed well above their height, and
and that's what you do, because again, so somebody looks at your roster and they're
but
like, holy
but
fuck, you got a bunch of 6'8" people.
this person claims that height still to this day, and I'm like, no, it's not accurate. That's AAU height. That's not real life height.
Yeah, see, there's a difference between people like me who are, 6'3", 6'5", like whatever. I'm taller than most. It doesn't fucking matter to me. But like I was like, yeah, I'm nuts. You can put whatever you want in the fucking program. I don't care.
Well, there is a big difference between 6'3" and 6'5". You know this.
But to me, I was just like, whatever, do whatever the fuck you want. I was like, just keep getting me out of class.
There's a guy who has a kid the same age as mine. They do an activity together, and my kid told me he was 6'8", and I was like, he's not 6'8". So next time I see him, I'm gonna ask him. I said, hey, buddy, how tall are you? He said 6'5".
So he's really like 6'3".
No, he's a bona fide 6'5". He's a big guy, but 6'8". I was like, 6'8" is like when a 6'8" person is near you, you know it. There's no mistaking it, and I'm like, that guy's not 6'8".
I forget. So when the Celtics came to Fenway after they won the championship, they do this. They do the duck boat around the field. They throw out the first pitch. Like most baseball players are, around my size or whatever, a little smaller. Like not a huge sport. If I go to a Ravens game early, you can tell who the offensive linemen and the defensive linemen are. But like the skill position guys are, again, usually smaller than me. And then the basketball players come, and I'm like, Derek White looks like a fucking midget on the court, and he's my height. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They're just like freak athletes. So when everybody makes the argument, who are the best athletes, it's basketball.
Oh,
100%.
No doubt.
Not even close.
Like Steph Curry, I think, is at least your height, right? He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, I would say
he's 6'3".
Yeah, Steph Curry's probably listed at 6'3". I would guess he's probably like 6'2" maybe, but he's at least the same height or close to the same height as me. So
yeah,
and he looks like a fucking midget on the basketball.
And he looks like a kid. Yeah, he looks like a little kid when he's out on the court. Yeah,
yeah. And
so like he's next to LeBron. LeBron's fucking 6'8".
I met Hashim Thabit. I don't know if you remember him. He used to play for UConn.
No, I remember him. Yeah,
he was like 7'4" or something like that. And I met him at a UConn game once, at a women's game. Back in the day, you used to have to buy season tickets to the women's game to get any men's tickets at all. So we would
Gino Ariema, what a fucking schemer.
Yeah, big scam.
Typical fucking guinea.
We fucked his kid up in high school, but different story. His kid played for some fucking snooty like Catholic school and would just get bullied by the opposing fans all the time. Getting off topic here. So I met him at a basketball game, and I was probably 13 or 14 at this point, so I wasn't full sized yet. And I came up to his like chest, and he was just like, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy is huge.
Okay. So I got a story similar to that. We're way off topic, but I have to tell the story now because we're in this lane. So I have it's one of these things where it's like it happens and I can't control it. I will get like a panic attack if I'm around something, and when I say a panic attack, I honestly mean it because it felt like I had a heart attack the couple times it happens. Like 2 or 3 times in my life this has happened. The first time it ever happened, I was at a Bullets game, Washington Bullets. The Washington Bullets played at what was called the US Air Arena back in the day. Landover, Maryland. Now where the Commanders play. Right, like, I don't know, a mile from there. So we watched a game at the US Air Arena, and then we went outside waiting for the players to come out. And what we were really waiting for is Chris Webber. It was that era where Chris Webber, I think maybe Muggsy Bogues was on the team at the time. I'm not really sure. I think it may have been that time.
Sounds about right. Yeah, time-wise.
What happened was we were waiting by the door where the players come out back in the day. This was not – nowadays, you see them come out in their car. You're not going to see them walk to their car. Like they're kind of like –
yeah, they're prissy.
Yeah. Back in the day, they would walk out of a fucking door from the building and walk to their car straight through all the fans. So, I mean, this must have been 1995, 1996. So the door opens, and a man comes through the door, basically bent over.
To Kemba Jumbo?
No, George Mirasan.
Oh, okay. That was close.
He came out completely bent over and then stood up. And when he stood up, my body involuntarily had a panic attack. I started sweating, like I was dripping sweat. My fucking hands were sweaty. Like I almost threw up. when this happened, and I was like, what is happening?
So I need a Will and Taco appearance
Yeah.
to happen.
Well, so
It will.
here's the thing.
That's what happened to me at the Orioles game that day. Remember, you was like, "Yo, I said, hold up, bro. I think I was having a panic attack."
Yeah, listen, this dude, it was one of these things where it's like you're not expecting what you're seeing, and even if I knew how big he was, 7'7" in real life, and
It's
like
shocking.
it's unfucking believable to see a human being that big. So he came out, I had a panic attack, like I fucking almost like fainted. It was that bad, and then. So since then, it's happened a couple times. One time it happened when I was in a horse barn and I was near like a Clydesdale horse in a barn. These motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah.
So then I had like I like recognized what was going on because I was an adult when it happened, and I forget the last time it happened, but it's happened like I think 3 or 4 times in my life.
All right, so Trippy,
George Marasan was the first time though.
Trippy, I want you to take notes. We need Will, Falele, Sala, like meetup to happen.
So it's different though when I know it's like I'm walking up to a big person. It's different, but like if a
But like
fucking
you need
George
to not
Marasan
know.
comes out of a door, a human like a normal human-sized door, and he's fucking has to like bend over
So
halfway
I
to
need
get
like
out.
Trippy. I need Trippy to like invite you to pickle and then tell them to come, and then they're just gonna bend down to get through the door, and you're gonna fucking oh my god.
That would fuck me up if I
That'd be
wasn't
great.
expecting it. And well, and you know that would have to be set up pretty like precisely. But listen, if you're in a small space and some gigantic thing comes into it, I don't know. Like I guess that's just maybe it's just me, but it
Well, I
fucks
mean,
me
you're
up.
also like 5 foot. It's different for you
All
than
right,
it is for everybody else.
here we go. The
You
slander.
set yourself.
I did.
Somebody had to take it. Was going to be because Jake's on mute and Trippy doesn't call you short, so had to be me doing it.
Well, I've spent the most time with Trippy, and Trippy and I are pretty close in size.
Yeah, if you sit on your chin, Trippy bent down a little bit. You guys are pretty close in size.
No, that's not accurate.
That's pretty accurate. I've met both of you. It's pretty.
I mean, Trippy and I see each other like at least once a week. So
yeah,
not...
Trippy told me that squats down when you say hi, so you can be on your eye level. But,
well, wrong.
Yeah. It's not. Now, Trippy tries to be sitting down when you walk into him, so you guys see.
Okay. Well, so my biggest takeaway from day one of camp was definitely the kicks, the kickoff strategy. I think we're going to see some crazy shit on kickoffs. I think that especially with Harbaugh being a special teams coach, I think Tucker is like a mad scientist with kicks. Angles.
Are you saying that Harbaugh is getting involved in one facet? Because people have told me that he's not involved in anything.
No, I mean, he has no idea what's going on in any facet of the game.
Was he even at training camp?
Nope.
No.
Funny, hilarious thing was Trippy called out to him, and he was ignoring everyone. Then when he heard Trippy's voice, he turned around, looked at Trippy, gave him a good smile, like gave him a thumbs up.
I mean, I feel like if you're more than a 1 year tenured Raven, like you must just hear Trippy's voice, be like, "Yep, I know that one."
Well, and you know, I said you go to training camp with Trippy, you're gonna get stopped every 2 seconds. Trippy gets the attention of a lot of players. Like Derrick Henry was chatting with him, you know, from a distance, but like
so when I met Trippy
for whatever reason, these fucking guys, they love talking to Trippy.
When I met Trippy at the divisional game, so you know, where the players walk in, like you walk around a corner and there's a solid, I don't know, 200-300 yards to where Trippy's standing. And my wife goes, "Are you sure he's here?" And then I heard somebody walking in and I heard, "Hello," Trippy screaming it. And I was like, "Yep." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, that's it."
That's so,
and that was, you know,
Big Dog Dad and Big Dog Son,
you know.
they stopped at the Jimmy's truck to get some food. And I was like, "We're going to head over there." And he's like, "All right, how am I going to locate you?" I said, "Just listen."
Yeah, just follow his voice. Like it's not even that he's louder than everybody. It's distinct. You know it's Trippy's voice.
The amazing I was thinking about this afterwards because I'm like, what the fuck? There was like, it was us, and then below us were all the kids, right? Waiting for autographs. So we're talking about 3 or 4 deep kids lined up along this barrier,
screaming, you know, like kids
screaming. Trippy, for whatever reason, the frequency of his voice just connects with every ear. It's crazy.
Carries. It's unique. So, I don't even know what the right word is for.
So we were trying to. Yeah, exactly. We were trying to make sure that the Big Dog Son got his flag signed. He had a Ravens flag that they got.
Motherfucker got it signed by Patrick Ricard. I'm not happy.
He got like 10 or 11 signatures on there.
Yeah, I don't care about any. Very very exciting.
He got Zay too.
I'm gonna call
And he got
911.
Roquan Smith.
And Roe. Yeah, and Roe. But Trippy just will say, "Hey, Pat, sign my
And-
man's flag." And it's like he's just speaking at a normal tone, but it's like somehow it just cuts through the frequency of all these goddamn kids and they're screaming. It was crazy. It was unbelievable. These guys,
I mean,
he was
so
having like just conversations with these guys with the loudest noise in it like imaginable right in between them. It was unbelievable.
I've been going to Ravens for years, so I'm sure that I had been in Trippy's general vicinity before and like never caught on to Trippy. And then, I talked to him on the podcast, for so many hours a week. And I was like, hundreds of yards away. I was like, yeah, that's him immediately. So I feel like it's just like a familiar thing. Once you hear it once, put the face to it, you just know it's him.
There is nothing more like, okay, so like I said, Trippy and I see each other a lot. We go to Orioles games. We see each other all the time. There is nothing more distinctive than Trippy's nothing in the world. I can find him
with any kind of.
I can find him in any crowd because the sound of his voice is so fucking distinctive. So even the guys who I think who are brand new in the team, they know his voice because they've either heard it because they've been around it before or they've just heard it on videos or whatever, but they know his voice. It cuts right through all the noise. This guy's a fucking magician.
I would assume I'm pretty easy to pick out of a crowd if you know what if you know me and you're looking for me. But if you're
apparently Rashad Bateman thinks you and I look exactly the same, so I don't know.
Again, we've been. This is my theory: is that he needs to get his fucking eyes checked and needs to, get LASIK or get glasses or do something.
The Jameis effect. You might be right.
I'm sure Cartier would get you, fucking cool visor that's prescription or something like that, or Balenciaga or one of these fucking brands, Rashad. And then maybe he can track the deep ball. Because that's the thing, is that if you just put the ball on his chest, he catches it. It's when he's 10, 15 yards away and he needs to make any kind of adjustment, he can't. Because he can't fucking see it. There also could have been like I just hate ball. He could have seen red and just been like triggered. I'm like, damn, these are the guys that are bullying me online. I'm going to really get them. I showed my wife that tweet. She thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I was like, it was great. I legitimately like died laughing for 15 minutes seeing that before I said it to anybody. I was just like, this has to be like fake, right? Like I'm being punked. But yeah, if he turned around and said "fuck you," I think that would have just my life would be complete.
Oh,
so
100%.
Rashad,
mine too.
Yeah, it could not have been more perfect. It could not be more perfect than him turning around, just being like, just fucking being so mad and being like, "fuck you" to you, or vice versa. If I went there and he was like, "fuck you," equally as great.
And just be clear, the video doesn't really. I mean, the video's funny and good.
You can see him say something. You can't really hear it.
Yeah,
but
in real life, it was different. It was different. He 100% because I was standing next to Trippy. He heard Trippy again.
He heard
Trippy's voice cuts through, and then he turns around and he wasn't listening about Zone 32, whatever. He just turned around that Trippy was just on his ass. So he's like, oh, I'm going to turn around and like acknowledge this guy. And then he realized it was Trippy and I'm standing next to him with the Zone 32 shirt on. So he was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I'm sure he heard the familiar voice, went to go turn around and then put two and two together before he had all the way turned around.
What we watched it come together in real time because I like I said, I don't think he realized who he was talking to, right? He's like the only dumb motherfucker who doesn't understand. He doesn't recognize Trippy's voice. Like going back to my original point, most people Trippy's voice is like it's like a fucking landmark of Baltimore. Like it's so distinctive. He didn't recognize it, and he turned around and then he saw that it was Trippy, and I was standing next to him, the guy who he has a fucking picture saved on his favorites in his phone, and he was like, "Oh hell no."
All right, I gotta go, guys. I have important parents.
Bye, Drew. Go away.
Jake,
fuck you, Drew.
Jake,
hey, Drew.
Step up and do something for us, the podcast.
How about go fuck yourself? Because you like to step on people's toes. That's right.
You've had your mic mute the entire show. I'm not.
That's because I can't get.
He usually does.
Yeah, it's because when you're around, I can't get a word in edgewise because you take up all the airtime.
People like to hear me talk. I don't know what to tell you. Every time I'm not here, I get messages. Man,
people like to hear me talk. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, maybe
I'm Drew.
Maybe if you talk like that, you'd be more compelling. Maybe give that a
Yeah,
shot while I'm gone for the rest of the episode.
You know, I think you might be right, Drew. I guess I'll have to speak a little more this one. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. All
Good.
right.
Jake, go fuck yourself. Trippy and Will, have a great night.
Patrick Ricard.
You too.
He's my
Fuck you,
man.
Jake.
Go fuck yourself,
Fuck
Jake.
you. Fuck you, Drew.
All right, Drew.
Pussy. That's it.
All right,
God.
hey Trip, tell us about today.
Day 4, homie, hit it.
Well, I mean, today was a good day for real. They basically was doing like special teams, like a lot of special team shit, like field goal. And then I
How-
did see this one little
Okay.
play that they did, like they had not Zay Fly. I don't know why they had Zay Fly. They had like Lightly on the line, right? And they like snapped the ball to the holder. He flicked it to Lightly real quick. So I don't know if we might see that.
Oh, okay.
And,
Was likely
defense,
like
I just feel like it
so
was
likely's on the end of the line, like set back, and then pulling in.
yeah, and then he straight, yeah, pulling in
So-
once they snapped the ball and they straight flicked it to him.
So it's pull in, flip to likely, and then he follows the center.
No, he just rolled outside.
Oh, okay, all right.
He just rolled out the outside because I mean it's like a fake. You know what I'm saying? They already say when they snap the ball, people already gonna start trying to jump up to block it.
I got
right?
you. I got you. Yeah, yeah.
But the holder, instead of him, the kicker gonna fake it and he straight boom, flick it to like
So
was
they're
cool.
trying to move likely into space outside.
Basically.
Okay, I like that.
Makes sense.
I like that they have because I don't think we ran a fake all year last year,
No, I don't think we did. I think you're right.
and typically we do. Well, I think
At
every year
least
before
once.
that. Yeah, every year before that. Because again, Harbaugh is a special teams guy, so I think he appreciates those well executed, special
But
teams,
I
fake
ain't gonna
plays.
lie to you though. The defense went crazy today. They had like 6 total picks on.
Art Maulet's been going nuts in
He
camp,
ain't
right?
had no, he ain't had no pick today though, but he still was going crazy though. But who had a pick? Marlon had 2. I think
Marcus Williams,
Williams,
Armin
then
Davis,
Norman
and
Davis.
Kyle.
No,
Kyle
I don't
Hamilton.
think.
I
Oh
think someone else,
Kyle,
right?
look, Kyle had one. He had one. Mullet. What's his name? Trey Mullen.
Oh, Trayvon Mullen?
He
Oh yeah,
played for the
Trayvon
Lakers.
Mullen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No shit.
that's
He had
Lamar's cousin,
No,
right?
right. He really had 2 of them, but they called one back because it was like,
Okay.
DPI.
Gotcha.
But
That
other
makes
than that,
sense.
though,
You got to
I
be
mean,
fucking up to get called for
Lamar was out
DPI at training camp.
Oh, this is the time
Lamar
to
was
fuck
out
up
there, but
because now you learn
Lamar
the
only
ways of
played.
how NFL all this shit.
Lamar only played like 5 plays.
It was the second team too, right?
And he had all his snaps at the second team.
So here,
And
okay, I want to say something. Spencer, exit 52. He was going bananas about it doesn't matter that Bateman doesn't go train with Lamar in the offseason because it's much more important what happens in training camp. Now, it is important what happens in training camp. As far as chemistry is concerned, I don't know that chemistry is built at training camp because training camp is kind of like a totality thing, right? So it's the offensive line and the skill position players kind of like meshing together, putting the playbook into action, figuring out how all that goes. The off-season work that happens between receiver and quarterback in private situations where they arrange it themselves, I think those chemistry sessions, like where they're learning each other's habits, those are more valuable to a wide receiver and a quarterback during the season when you're talking about trusting a guy to run a certain route, to understand how he runs that route, right? So like every guy's going to run an out different. Every guy's going to come out of his break different. So you got to understand the timing of his footwork. And Bateman is known for quick footwork. So these are things that like in past season, when the timing's not there, when Lamar doesn't look to him early in the route progression, I think all these things go back to them not working together in the offseason. And it didn't happen again this offseason. And now Lamar's been sick. So through 4 days of training camp, which again, I'm going to go back to Spencer, who said it's more important what happens in training camp. Okay, well, the quarterback might be sick. So when you have an opportunity to visit him, build one-on-one rapport, work out together, run the route tree, let your quarterback learn how you come out of a break, things like that. I think all those things are incredibly valuable to training camp progress. Like it's laying a foundation for training camp, and then training camp is laying a foundation for the regulars. So like I don't like anybody diminishing the importance of those guys meeting up on their own time outside of whatever the team tells them to do. I think that's super important.
You're not wrong. I also think that's achievable after practice. It's a matter of the quarterback and the receiver getting together and having those one-on-one conversations. But it ties into what you're saying.
I get that, but after practice is these guys have like, okay, Trippy, you've been out there 2 times. I've been out there 1 time. Sunday, we were out there. I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts. I'm not an NFL player, but I'm a human, and I'm not like morbidly obese. Like I don't have like, negative reactions to being outdoors. And I was fucking gassed just from being out in that sun. These guys are playing football. They got shoulder pads and a helmet on. So what you can
They ain't
gain,
had no shoulder pads on yet.
whatever, what you can gain from those visits with your quarterback, and they wouldn't have to wear a helmet or anything. It's learning biomechanics. It's understanding each other. So getting in sync with someone, I think, happens one-on-one, and you can't get that done, especially not the way that I just saw training camp executed, where they're moving station, 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 station. And then at the end, they run some 11 on 11 goal line to goal line. But that's not the same thing as 2 guys being able to just do whatever they want for as long as they want to do it. That's where Bateman not making the effort to go see Lamar, that fucking bothers me a lot.
Understandable. I get that. It makes sense. You would like to see them get together and everything. From what I've noticed, did Mandrews go out there this offseason? I think Likely did, right?
Likely did. Andrews and
Andrews,
Andrews,
they already have that connection.
They have it.
Yeah.
Right, they have it. So like Mark Andrews has earned the right, and Lamar, I bet they talk a lot.
Guaranteed.
I don't know. I would bet they do. But if they don't work out in the offseason, and they probably did at some point, but whatever.
Probably early on.
We didn't see it. But those 2, we already know they have the connection. They have the chemistry. That is not a question, right? Because Mark Andrews wouldn't be the guy he is without Lamar Jackson.
Correct.
So and vice versa. But so I don't know that like it's not going to change anything for either one of them if they don't work out. Like it would be great if they did, because I think it could probably like even take it to the next level. But there's at the same time, I think Andrews is probably hoping that Lamar connects well with other guys on the roster.
Because it opens everything up for him too. At
Exactly.
That point.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they already know each other. They already know each other's tendencies. They have chemistry. So maybe it's just Lamar and Andrew saying, let's try and get these other guys up to speed, and it helps both of us. I don't know, but
well, you're not wrong. I mean, we watched them last year. He and Bateman didn't look right together. Like there was
Bateman even said it again. I think 2 days ago. He went in front of a mic and he said, I need to get Lamar to trust. He said it multiple times now since the end of last season. Lamar doesn't trust him, and he knows it, and he's acknowledging it. He said it multiple times.
Yeah. So there's that. Before we get out of here, we should probably touch on the most recent DB signing that the Ravens just made, because after our session last week, the Ravens went ahead and made a move and brought in the man, the myth, the legend, the NFL safety with the greatest opinion on taxes ever. They signed Eddie Jackson from the Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. So hey, man, 2-time Pro Bowler, knack for the ball. Bojack is his handle. At least it ain't Bojack Horseman. But Bojack, fucking
Florida boy.
He is a South Florida boy. See, that's kind of what I've noticed with Lamar. Get him more players from that region. They'll get together because they all know each other.
Yeah, they're all gonna eat those fucking Royal Farms chicken baskets and miss 3 days of camp.
Or oxtail pizza.
So funny.
I'm telling you right now, it was not the oxtail pizza. I'm telling you, it was probably a fucking Rofo 8-piece.
Oh, gas station chicken.
I can handle it. I don't know about Lamar.
Yeah, understandable.
I don't like that shit.
Yeah, nah. You know what?
Right.
Yeah, I understand. That's understandable. We don't have that out here. It's fucking crispy, crunchy chicken. I think is our gas station chicken, which that's whatever. But that's beside the point. But still, I'm sure we're all happy about the move, bringing in another safety playmaker. better move than fucking Geno Stone go to the Bengals. I think it was Sarah Ellison that highlighted on Twitter, right? He's
Yep.
getting one and a half mil to come in this year, while Geno still
And
actually got
it counts as one against the cap. One.
beautiful. Not to mention, the cheap, like with how little you're spending on that, you got a better player. Like he's a more accomplished player and a better player than Geno Stone on his best day. Man, Geno Stone had a hell of a year last year, but Eddie Jackson, ever since he came into the league, the ball happened to find him. Especially when he was under the Fangio defense with the Bears, the ball found him multiple times.
He has so I did the comparison head to head with Geno Stone just to see dollar for dollar what's going on here. Geno Stone got 2 years, 14 million, and we just went over what Eddie Jackson got. Eddie Jackson has 5 interceptions since 2020, but he also has 3, maybe even more. Actually, maybe more, 5 or 6. He has a shitload of fumble recovery or forced fumbles. And that's not something that Geno Stone ever did. So Geno Stone was kind of like a lurker. He was kind of like that guy, and Mike McDonald made that possible for him. Like that's how the defense works. Eddie Jackson had, I think, 201 tackles since 2020, and Geno Stone had 97. So like he's a tackle. He will come up and make a tackle. So he's a more complete player to me. He plays the safety position in a style that is not the same as Geno Stone, which also tells me they have different ideas for how to use Kyle Hamilton, because Kyle Hamilton is a guy who can play like almost every position on the defense. So having someone like Eddie Jackson who can go get the ball, but he can also make tackles, it opens up a lot of what you can do with your Swiss Army knife. So
that's the biggest thing, because again, he's your biggest advantage. He's your chess piece on defense.
exactly.
Being able to move him around the way they've been able to do since he's come into the league, huge bonus.
And so Sean McVay, who I think most people who have any idea what's going on in the NFL would say is like one of the foremost offensive minds.
Yep.
He said playing the Ravens last year was like playing a defense with 13 players.
He did say that. I actually just watched that today.
Yeah.
I fast forwarded through, oh boy, because I'm not trying to hear Bobby Chaucer talk. All due respect to the man, I'm like, get to the point, get to the thing that you're trying to talk about. And then after that, I could just make my own conclusions because I don't care about you.
Right. Yeah. So he's a guy who obviously is very deeply involved in offensive game planning. And when they are playing the Ravens, that defense, at least, the one that we've had for the past couple of years with McDonald, has been one that's kind of like you can't figure out what's going on there. There's guys moving everywhere all the time. So like you said, it's like playing defense with 13 guys. And like we've said, for a couple months now, the Ravens defense this year with Zach Orr, I think, is the same defense with a different boss, but it's the same concept. It's going to be the same concept and more aggressive.
Yeah. He'll throw his wrinkles in there too, but by and large, there's not much of it to change up. He learned what he learned under him last year, and he saw what was successful and what may have not been. So, I mean, there wasn't much that wasn't unsuccessful last year. So,
yeah,
all things considered,
Yeah, and we have people talking about what the Ravens have lost, and a lot of what they lean on when they make that argument is Mike McDonald, and I just don't see a huge loss between him and Orr.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, when you're just Matt BK going on the podium calling him a defensive mastermind, when we're talking Zach Orr here, I mean, we talked about it early in the offseason. A lot of all of our position coaches, 3 of them got defensive coordinator jobs. One of them was in hire for us, and obviously for in-house for us, and then Mike McDonald gets the head coaching gig. It was bound to happen. They were going to be coordinators somewhere. And if we didn't promote Zach Orr, he was going to be the defensive coordinator of the Packers. That was a job offer for him. And he's going to call plays because Matt LaFleur is not a defensive guy.
Right.
But getting to stay home, only team he really ever knew other than that debacle with Urban Meyer, I mean, ain't no place like home. Not to mention it's a scheme and players you already know. You know their strengths and you have an idea of their strengths and weaknesses, so you put them in great positions. It's a perfect spot for him to coach for maybe a year or two, and he winds up being a head coach somewhere.
Personally, I think that he is the next head coach here.
Ideally, ideally, I understand why you think that, because again, Harbaugh's getting older. He's Orr's a young man who's about my age. I believe he's 33.
Yeah, I think 32. I think he's 32 right now.
So he's a couple of years younger than me. So I mean, being able to get to that point, he'll wind up being the youngest head coach in the league. I think either him or Jonathan Gannon, but still, he has a hell of an opportunity. So it'd be perfect. You bring a young man in, maybe fingers crossed, he has a long, successful career, just like Harv's has had, Mike Tomlin's had, and go back even further. Chuck Noll, Bill Belichick, fucking Shula, coaching for 25, 30 fucking years. So, I mean, ideally, that's what we hope for. But that'd be great. But, I mean, he still has to go on the field and coach a legendary defense and still make it happen.
Yep.
Fun thing is him matching with Andy Reid week 1.
Trip, you awake?
All right, man.
Huh? Yeah, I'm woke. I was like this on my tablet and shit. My homegirl, she keeps FaceTiming me and shit. I told her I'm doing a podcast. Talk about shout me out. I'm shouting you out for. You're a fucking New York Giants fan. And she a Yankees fan. I'm shouting her out for.
Trip, what you got any more day 4 training camp shit that you want to put on the record?
No, I really got nothing else for real. But I know one thing though. I got a pass for Friday, and I heard they bringing the pads out. I don't know how sure it is.
There you go.
What that means? The pads out.
Yeah.
We'll be out.
That's when shit get real.
Oh, but
man.
But hold on, real quick though. The tight end name Scotty Walsh is tough, and it's crazy. He know me, and I'm like, damn, bro, you know me like Trippy. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'll be seeing you on the internet. Oh shit, but he had a tough catch today in number 7. No, not 7. Number 87. Kirkwood dude. I think he came from New Orleans.
Keith Kirkwood.
Like that.
Yeah, he used to play for the Saints. Yeah, actually, he was there when Breeze was there still.
Right. I like him. Not saying that he'll make the team though, but they did their thing today though. So we'll keep saying though.
I mean, he's a player that style wise he's a dude they don't. You good? But yeah, he's a player that's like style wise they don't have on that roster. We don't really carry big body physical receivers like that.
That's what I was saying with Ben Skowronek.
Yeah, that's a specialty, dude. I ain't talking about Ben Skowronek. But he's Ben Skowronek's like fine, but again, it's yeah.
But man, but like I said though, we gonna see though, man. I just feel like our offense crazy this year. Defense, I feel like it's still the same. I mean, we lost Geno Stone, but I mean,
you upgraded
Eddie Jackson.
And Eddie Jackson is an upgrade.
Eddie Jackson.
We got Trent Simpson, right? We got Trent Simpson now. You feel me? My biggest concern is the pass rushing. Like, yeah, we know what they doing all this and that, but I need to see if that shit gonna happen during the season. Because it's cool for Justin Madubuike that had 13 sacks. Hopefully he can do that shit again. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I want to see what the pass rushing. You know what I mean? The ends. So we can finally get Adolphe Owe and what's his name?
David Ojabo.
T-Rob. I feel like T-Rob.
That old shit crew.
To Davis Robinson. I feel like he gonna have a big season this year. And then you still got the vet Kyle Van Noy, and then the secondary. The secondary just gonna be crazy, bro. I feel like we could be able to like put Nate on the outside, the inside, Marlon inside, outside. You feel me? Brandon Stevens inside, outside. Arthur Millette gonna be playing, the nickel. Then we got Eddie Jackson back there, but Williams, what's his name? Kyle Hamilton could play the box. I just feel like, bro, it's gonna be some crazy shit.
You got a lot of positional versatility and flexibility with all those dudes.
They will. And I talked to Todd Martin today, not up close, but he definitely heard me. I said, yeah, Todd, I'm back. I said, I got my eyes on you now, man. I said, I ain't gonna lie, man. You let the city down last year, man. But this year, he put his head down and smiling. He already know. Like, yeah, you know what time it is. But other than that, though, training camp was cool, man. Day 4. Tomorrow they got an off day, so Friday back to the pads.
Yeah, man. Well, back to the pads and back to the task at hand, because that's going to do it for this week's installment, baby. We're going to be back to discuss this, that, and the other. We'll see who else joins us next week. Motherfucking Grant, bring your ass back. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die. Oh!
Zone 32.